Welcome to week 5 of our Here to Help campaign. Today, one of our project consultants, Chris Harmer, will be sharing some of his knowledge on line marking and what are commonly referred to as ghost markings on the road. When road marking needs to be removed, for example when road layouts change, the original lines can sometimes still appear as faint or ghost marks, which can often be confusing and frustrating for motorists. Chris has over a decade of experience within the TTM industry and has witnessed the challenges that both workers and motorists can experience when it comes to ghost markings. Over to Chris.
Hi, today we're out on a major project worksite. In this Here to Help, we're going to discuss the challenge of line marking and resulting ghost markings we can end up with at our worksites.
As we all know, there are usually white and yellow lines painted onto the road surface to guide traffic on lanes or around intersections, with the addition of limit lines and pedestrian crossings. Each of these have differing needs when it comes to removal. Most long-term work sites of more than a month can face challenges with pre-existing line marking conflicting when road layouts need changing for the activity being undertaken. This can be because of a new road alignment, lane width changes, lane diversions, or a myriad of other activities being undertaken in our temporary traffic management world. Because of this, new markings are often painted onto the road surface, and the original markings are removed by either water blasting or grinding the old markings off. Occasionally these markings are covered over with black paint, but it should be noted that using black paint is really only suitable as a very short-term solution, as the paint does wear off very quickly. This leaves us with what is known as ghost markings. Not a friendly ghost such as Casper, but lines on the road that can be confusing for motorists at different times. The paints used to mark our roads are varied in type, colour, thickness and width. New markings are generally a paint that often has glass beads embedded to give reflectivity so they can be seen at night as well. Usually once a road has been marked for the first time when new or after resurfacing, there may be an additional layer added of other products such as a long life paint, cold applied plastics, hot applied thermoplastic or audio tactile pavement known as ATP, or more simply as rumble strip.
Removing these different types of products presents challenges depending upon the type, how long it's been in place, has it had a recoat, and been reapplied in the past, creating multiple layers. When the removal of old lines is needed, this usually can't happen at the same time as the process for removing by water cutting leaves a wet surface. New markings can't be applied when it is wet. Because we do a lot of this sort of work at night, it is usually too cold for the water to dry fast enough to allow both activities to happen at the same time.
One solution for this is to paint the new markings first. These take roughly 15 to 20 minutes to dry, and if time allows on the night, the old markings can be removed. If there is not time, they can be blacked out temporarily and then removed at a later date. The main challenge that this causes for the worksite is at night when old lines have been painted out with black paint that can reflect in a vehicle's headlights and look like there are multiple choices of where to drive, which is not a very safe thing. Likewise, when it rains, these old markings can stand out and sometimes be clearer than the temporary or new markings put down on the site, causing a motorist to get confused, particularly if they're unfamiliar with an area. When line marking is water cut from the surface, this can also leave ghost markings, as the surface has been effectively water blasted, leaving lovely clean lines that are often a bit wider than the old markings, as a small amount of the surface bitumen also gets removed. Fortunately, over a relatively short period, these start to blend in again thanks to traffic running over them and the build-up of road grime onto the surface. Grinding the old line marking off can be a very slow process and also cause damage to more area than the lines cover, and possibly needing further repairs. There are numerous ways to grind off, from a small hand cut concrete cutter right up to using a milling machine such as was used in this example. Grinding can be particularly effective with ATP marking and cap marking.
Water cutting is not always a viable solution, and this leaves us no option but to paint over or cover the lines. This can happen when a surface is nearing the end of its life and starting to break down, very common on a chip seal.
When this happens, any attempt to remove the line marking can result in the whole surface being destroyed. Not a good thing to happen.
Lastly, there's one other method of covering old markings, which is great for short-term cover needs, and that's using a cover tape.
This tape is a little wider than the standard white line width of 100mm and goes down fast as long as the surface is dry and clear of loose material and dust. This product is fantastic when it runs along the direction vehicles travel, that is, the wheels run along it rather than across it, when it has been known to get pushed off the line if covering something such as a limit line where braking occurs. This causes the adhesive to let go. As far as leaving ghost markings, this option has less glare at night due to its textured matte surface, but still shows a relatively clear black line.
We hope these explanations and information regarding line marking and ghost markings has been informative and helpful. If you have any queries regarding this topic, please don't hesitate to get in touch with the team here at Parallaxx. We're always here to help.